Good morning. Today is Sunday, September 14th. It is 10:20 a.m. Central Time. Just jumping into my weekly prep here. Yeah, was a bit late getting to the screens this morning. Had the whole I don't know if any of you saw, but that whole Canelo and what's his name? Crawford boxing match yesterday on Netflix. I was you know, it was a pretty good fight. I think Crawford definitely outclassed Canelo. I was going for Canelo, but hey, man, he lost. But it was still a good fight. But yeah, so I was just up late with that. So jumping into what things look like going into the week, looking at the options flow from Friday, looks bullish for the Qs. Just how things are looking. If we want to do how things expire on Monday, it looks more like there's a bunch of bearish bets that expire on Monday. But then if we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at end of the week, it is bearish, which is interesting, right? And so I think the bullish bets are probably further out. Probably, if we go um, maybe even like end of year type of thing. Do we? Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. Maybe end of month. Let's see. And so more kind of bullish bets that way. Look at that. So 590 strike for almost $1 million. Um, Interesting. So bullish bet towards the end of the month, which I think I saw a chart somewhere that said when rate cuts happen at all time highs, every single time there was always like all time highs at least 12 months later or something like that. So history could repeat itself, but it looks interesting kind of going into next week. So it's bullish flow overall, probably longer dated expirations. Um, and then I guess all the ones for kind of near term are bearish. But yeah, like December, November type of thing. So it's good to know. But yeah, going into Monday, people who bought options on Friday that expire on Monday are more bearish. So I wouldn't say, not too much more. So nothing super crazy. And then the 16th, super bearish there. And then I guess 17th is when the Fed stuff happens. So it's interesting, right? So I think the 17th is Wednesday. And so we're expecting to be bullish on that day. So going into the rate cut situation or the rate decision situation seems to be bearish, but then on the day we switch bullish the day after, and then I guess on Friday it becomes bearish for the bets. But interesting here, like bullish bets here on I guess when the rate thing happens on Wednesday, and then the following day, everybody who has have expirations on that day who bought on Friday definitely bullish. So quite interesting. Um, I don't know if I'm going to follow these trades. It's not big money on the day after, and then on the day of, not terribly big money, but it's interesting. So there's that. Keep that in mind going into Monday. Let's see if there's any big bets here on Monday. Nothing terribly big. And then on Tuesday, nothing terribly big. I mean, I guess the biggest bet was on Wednesday, which I think is when the rate decision is. So you got like $500,000 call. Maybe more than that. Um, so I'll be looking into that. So that's how things look as far as options flow. And then looking at the dark pools, so we looked on Friday. So we had these levels at 5484, and then 586.6, let's call it, more or less. And so I marked those already, but you can kind of see how those look in relation to the closing price and everything else. Before we hop into the charts, just kind of overview of what's coming this week. Let's see, we got the New York Fed manufacturing thing, so that's medium, just something to keep in mind, but we'll just see how that shakes out. Retail sales month on month, so it seems interesting. Industrial production, so we'll pay attention to that on the 16th. And then we got September 17th, not much in the morning, some crude oil stuff, but that shouldn't really impact stocks too much or indices or equities, whatever. Um, we got a rate decision in the afternoon, and so that'll be fun. I will not trade it in the afternoon, just going to let it be. And then some other things, not sure what this is, OPEX things. So really it's just that. And then we got Costco and Nike the following week. So I think all we really have to look forward to is rate cuts. And so it's just kind of leading into it. Maybe on Tuesday, there's something there with the retail sales. And then I asked GPT about like, hey, give me a breakdown for each day. So lower volatility expected on Monday based on GPT things. Then we got that retail thing. Yeah, okay. They're expecting probably a slower morning and a spike in the afternoon, which will be interesting. Maybe people start getting in anticipation for the rate cut. Um, and then here we go. Oh, there's building permits and interesting. I guess we'll see how that goes. Is there jobless claims? I don't know if that's true. See, this is where you have to just kind of double check with everything. Is there on Thursday the 18th jobless claims plus Philly Fed, etc.? What does this mean? September 18th. Is that really happening? I don't see anything that says anything about the jobless claims. See, this is why sometimes you have to double check with GPT. It just sometimes it doesn't know what it's talking about. So we'll leave that alone. But other thing I was looking at, so if you don't subscribe to the Crowded Market Report from Jason Shapiro, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great community. I'm part of that as a member, and just kind of check out their reports and everything. And doing kind of a summarization of things. So it looks like based on positioning that we're crowded. There's a little bit crowding on the long side, but it's not max crowding, which is interesting. And then I guess we'll see if rate cuts don't push us up. I guess that's the whole narrative with the COT is if like everything is bullish and if we get bullish news on rate cuts, but then price can't close up on that day, then there's potential short. So that's something to look out for. So it looks like Dow, there's crowded longs, which is interesting. And so I guess we'll see what's happening there. Short opportunity, yeah. I mean, I'm actually um, looking into that, and then Russell seems to be balanced. And I guess we'll see how things go. But that was just kind of an interesting summary there. For so I guess for the charts, so I went ahead and marked my levels already, and so these are how the levels are shaking out. The two dark pool levels that we had on Friday, we had one here at this level, 2400s, and then again at this level, 24100. So, nice progression. Buy at the bottom, we're pushing up, or not buy, but transacted here, pushed up, and then transacted here near the close. And so, did we sell, or are we positioning ourselves for more of a push and more all time highs? So, that is the question. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how price, looked like the last time. We had this down, up, down, up, down, up, and down, up, down, up, down, up, and then down. But we'll see what happens. I think the tariff stuff didn't happen until here. So I mean, price does still look up. It broke all two new all-time highs. You can't really argue with it. I think rate cut should be bullish, and I guess next round number, 2200, 24,500, right? Like here's just like the round psychological levels. So maybe that's like the next target in people's minds. Um, I think when it broke this all-time high, we broke through and then we fell over. And now we're breaking a new all-time high. So do we fall over and load back up before we push? Um, even here when this was the all-time high, it pushed up some more, and then it fell over, right? And at that point, let's see, from this all-time high to when it fell over, it was like 700 points. And then from when it broke, let's see if we can look at this again. Right, that was like, 700 points, or no, this was an all-time, so it broke this one, so that was it took a week and it kind of broke. And then from here, it took a couple days and then it broke. And then, we just kind of kept going, kept going, kept going. And then we had this all-time high, had a fall over, and we broke, when we broke the new all-time high, let's see, from this point, that took 8 bars, so eight trading days. And then we fell over again. And then from this all-time high to this new one, it took about 20 trading days. So it's interesting. Like it took, we were just grinding up all-time highs for a while. And then, it took about a month of trading to make a new all-time high here. But super up there. If we look at the monthly, yeah, I mean, just green, 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 green. Like it's super strong. And weekly, super breakout here in this week candle. So I mean, you see in these levels, right? On this is a weekly, right? Like we go down to these levels, push up, strong wick close, couldn't break the lows of this week, pushed down again, pushed up, strong wick, and then strong green close, and now we break out. So yeah, it looks pretty strong on the longer term. So there's that. So we'll just see how things look. But I guess we can look at overall indexes and see how we're shaking out. So NQ we've looked at. Yeah, ES did break the all-time high, kind of pull back, but very shallow pullback. Interesting, Russell did not make an all-time high on Friday. And so it's always been leading us. And now that I guess we flipped and NQ is kind of leading, it's a little bit lagging there, which I suppose is expected. And then for the Dow, didn't break all-time high and deeper pullback into this level. I mean, it feels like a good buy the dip area here, right? This like resistance becomes support type situation. Maybe you have a deeper pullback to here. Maybe it's crazy and you sweep this, but yeah, it feels bullish still. VIX is kind of hanging out. We're just hanging out. Dollar also hanging out. And so Thursday we made a nice little low on the treasury yields, and then we broke the high. So that is a little bit cautious, I suppose, for the Qs. So we'll see. And XLK, we had the gap up, close red, swept that low, close red. It's interesting that we can't close green here. And so we just have to see if we get to here, we're probably somebody's gonna want to close that gap. So we'll just see how that goes. All right, so that's what things look like there. So Apple looking strong, kind of close the gap, pushing back up here. Looks like Microsoft we're breaking out, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it looked like it was weighing us down for a little bit, but yeah, we got to this retest level, but not quite, and then gapped up above it and closed strong. So there you go. Amazon closed that gap here after that nice run up. So we'll see what it does. Google, green, green, green. Little pullback here, green, 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 green. Just going, going, going. So we're just gonna have to see if this low holds, and just see if we go. But Google, we're kind of consolidating here, but let's see. Meta looks like we've reclaimed the MAs here. Yeah, we pushed a little bit higher, broke the lows, swept that low, pushed back up, made a high of that previous candle. So this could go either way, but I think seeing how Microsoft and Apple are looking, I feel like Meta might do that same thing. Nvidia going, kind of broke up above all that gap, holding this low here. Let's see if we can kind of hold this Thursday and Friday low and keep pushing up. Yeah. Oh, Tesla. Yeah, broke out. Super breakout. I guess it's like all the robotic stuff that they're doing. Super cool. So that is good. And the Qs are the Qs, up green. Yeah, man. I mean, everything looks really strong on these mega caps. Like there's not none of them really look bullish. I mean, bearish at this point. They all look bullish to me. Even Amazon, right? Like it closed that gap. And that next candle closed on the mid, but it's still like it's still up, right? Like you look at that, it's still up, it's still going. Tesla's super strong, carrying us forward. Nvidia was the one dragging us down, and now it's coming back to life. So I feel like everybody's risk on for up, 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 especially into the rate cuts. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool. So up we go. And then I guess for the NQ specifically, we'll just have to look at how things look pre-market. I'll look at the 1 minute and the pre-market. But if we look at the 1 hour, I think for me, obviously I'm watching this key level at 24046. Seems like a great long if we can get down there. Also see if this 2400 level holds for like a major support psychological level and also coincides with a dark pool. So if we get back here and we reclaim and all that stuff, I think definitely a place to load up if I were to guess. I do like this level, and I will mark this as well. Sync that globally. I like that. So I don't mark these yellow as like key levels on the longer time frame, but something for me to look at in the shorter time frames. So I do like those. I mean, you never know. NQ likes to just do these big candles like this and flush. So if we flush super hard, I would be looking there as well. Um, I don't think right away I'm looking for the short because it's like one candle, one hourly candle with the all-time high. If there's multiple, then I would say it's resistance, but this is just an all-time high at this point. But hey, like if we base under here and can't get above this dark pull level at 24 100s and convincingly can't get above it, I mean, there's a short and ride it back down to these key levels, but I would say the least resistance seems to be up. And I think conventional wisdom is September is meant to be the month for pullbacks. Maybe people are looking for sell the news on the rate cut, and they're looking for the short, and they're looking for any reason to get short. Depending on what the news looks like. Um, but you can't fight with what this is doing here. And like I'm super short bias all the time. Like I'm always fighting my bias of going short, just because shorts happen so much faster in the NQ and longs just take longer to materialize. But yeah, man, like you can't argue with this. Like you just can't. It's strong. Like if this pushed up, broke new high, then it closed on reds and stuff. Then or closed on the lows. Yeah, but no, we closed on the highs. Near the highs, right? And so, and even closed above the mid of the candle. So now you're in the premium of the daily, right? So it's bullish, man. I think that's just what it is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens going into next week. I'll be back just to do a quick recap, and not a recap, but a quick look in the morning for the electronic hours. But I think all signs are pointing to up, um, especially as we go into the rate cut day. A lot of bullish flow. Day after bullish flow. Monday, I guess there's potential to be bearish. So open to it, but not going to look for too much follow through. Tuesday bearish, which might be true, right? Like if we, I guess I've observed a lot where NQ likes to, sell off into news before, right, and then like launch up afterwards, or buy up into news and then sell off afterwards. Who knows if that's what's going to happen into the rate cuts? I guess if I was big money and I was expecting rate cuts to shoot us higher, obviously I'd want better prices. And maybe I would drive the price down going into the rate cuts and scare everybody into selling, and then buy it up, and then kind of ride it up to the previous all time high, break new all time highs easier, and make more money that way. It's very possible. Um, but yeah, I guess I will be looking just kind of following price and seeing how we do. But flow definitely looks bullish on the day, and the day after looks bullish. Some pretty big, $500,000 bets. there, and you got 700 flow and 1.6 million flow. So I mean, it's not nothing. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll just see how news shakes out and everything else. But that is it for me. Sorry for the long video, and good luck out there.